What's up, guys? Welcome back, I-90 Sports Nation. I told y'all that if I could do this, we're going to do this. So I'm feeling all right now. So we're going to give this a go. What's up, Luke?
What's up, Luke?
So before we even started this show, JD, we had some breaking news. So let's get into that. Go ahead and if you guys haven't heard, Kyler Murray apparently erased all ties with the Arizona Cardinals on social media, pictures, you name it. It's kind of gone from his account. So big deal or no big deal there, JD.
I mean, it's either it seems like a big deal that you would do something like that. It seems like there's some sort of issue. I mean, this seems like that seems a little bit extreme if you're like just trying to leverage for a contract extension. And the only other thing I can think of is that he could be potentially looking at other career options. That's the only thing I can possibly think of because
Are
it
you
doesn't
saying
seem
he
to
might
me.
go? He might quit football and go to baseball?
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I'm definitely not trying to break that news. It's kind of just speculation. But what I would say is that Ian Rappaport didn't seem to know why. A lot of people don't know why. So it seems like there's either going to be an announcement coming soon or there's some sort of marketing thing going on social media. I'm not really sure. I'd like to think, you know, if I'm from the Cardinals perspective, I don't want to like take this out. I don't want to take this too far. You know what I mean? I don't want to say, oh, he's done with us now. You know what I mean? But what do you think about that?
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But I also don't want to dismiss it either because it's something, it could be significant.
It could be. This is kind of one of those things where I think we're going to have to wait and see because nobody really knows why. Like, none of the big names, Woj, Rappaport, and none of these, these guys that are really plugged in with the league kind of have this kind of caught them by surprise as well. So,
Yeah,
I think we're
absolutely.
going to have to take a wait and see with this one, but it's that like, I didn't really think that he was that like upset with the car. Like there was no kind of like
No indications.
indication that he was mad at them or anything like that. So that's kind of weird, strange that it would just kind of come out of the blue.
It's definitely strange. It's definitely weird. And another thing I thought of when you mentioned like could he be playing baseball? And this is wild speculation. It's kind of like it could be absolutely nothing. It could be a perfectly reasonable explanation for that. That's definitely something that's possible. But something that struck me is spring training is right around the corner. It's like 3-4 weeks away. So if you want to be fully invested,
it's close. I think it's 3. I think it's 3 weeks away.
If you want to join the Oakland Athletics because he still is on contract with them, this might be the chance to do it. We've seen Russell Wilson do spring training. It seems like it never really went anywhere for him. But even if that's true, I'm not sure. Like the only reason I can think of why they do that is maybe they said you can't play both. So he said, okay, well, maybe I'll play with somebody else. So I don't know where this is coming from. It could, like I said, it could be a completely reasonable explanation. Maybe he's like editing all the videos and going to upload them back. But it definitely was shocking without any explanation. It kind of was just like, whoa, all of a sudden, Kyler Murray only has his Oklahoma and his baseball photos on there. That's it. Like he only has his Oklahoma
and
football
it's
and his
interesting
baseball.
that he left the baseball ones up.
It's very interesting. That definitely is interesting.
All traces of football have kind of been erased from his account, which is strange.
It's definitely strange. I want to say that it's nothing. Like you want to just say, oh, it's nothing. He's going to be back with the Cardinals and everything, but you never know these days. You absolutely never know. And it's definitely something that struck a lot of people. It shocked a lot of people for sure. Even Ian Rappaport was like, what? Really? So Ian Rappaport is going to have to look into that. He seems to be most plugged in with that type of situation in the NFL. But man, it definitely shocked me too. That is something that I'm very curious what the chat thinks about that too. I'm very curious. So I'd like to see their reactions once we get the VOD out there too. It's very interesting situation.
It's just stuff like this that comes out of the blue is especially when none of the big names have heard. You know what I mean? Like when none of the like you don't hear it from Wojciechowski, Rappaport, any of those big names that are plugged into the leagues. When they don't even have a clue, it was definitely like spur the moment. Like
it had to have been, or it was something that him and his agent discussed, or it's something that's brand new. Because remember, he was playing in the Pro Bowl. What was it, yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
And he had the Cardinals garb on, and all of a sudden now today, 24 hours later, it's all gone off his social media. Like I said, there's a high likelihood that that's just it's just something that we didn't predict. You know what I mean? Something silly. Doesn't mean anything.
Can we just talk about the Pro Bowl for 1 second and how much of a joke that game is? Like I watched some of that the other day, right? Before we get into some of the NFL topics, guys, like I just want, like, what a joke that game has become, huh? Like they don't even let him tackle the guys anymore. They just wrap them up and blow the whistle. Like it's like what a joke that game has become.
It's simply not fun to watch. It's not entertaining. Nobody really cares. I mean, the players don't care. Pat McAfee made a joke that they're all sweating off liquor and stuff like that. You can just probably smell the liquor on them. It's like, I'm sure because they don't really care.
Year. What do you think they were doing? Come on, man.
Exactly. And also, honestly,
3/4 of both of those teams are probably shit-faced, playing that game from the night before, because they're all at the club, dude. All of those guys are at the clubs and at the bars. All what I mean? Like, come on, man. They're in Vegas and they're millionaires. What do you think's gonna? What do you think's gonna happen?
Well, Alvin Kamara got arrested, so yeah,
that's what I mean. He got arrested.
He got arrested
for beating up a dude at a club the night before.
I didn't even know that's why. I just saw he got arrested.
He beat a dude up at a club the night before, and the guy pressed charges on him. Yeah, that's why.
The Pro Bowl is a mess. And I think ultimately, the Pro Bowl has to be like either right after the season's over, like right before the playoffs start or something, where people are still fresh. Because here's the thing. When you when you are done with your season, whether it be the end of the season, you didn't make the playoffs, or wild card weekend, whatever it may be, whenever your season ends, you immediately unwind. You're just like, all right, dude, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to chill. I'm going to like loosen up my muscles and stuff. So what we're seeing is these guys who are like 3 to 4 weeks into fatigued rest phase, and they come back and play a crappy game because they don't want to get hurt because they're all recovering from the season. So I just think that something's got, maybe do it halfway through the season, something like that. Make it meaningful. Give them a reason. Like give both sides a reason to actually want to. What would you do in that situation? Like, do you have any ideas for the Pro Bowl to make it more interesting? Because right now the skills competitions are more fun to watch.
That's what. Like the skills. Yeah, the skills competitions are more fun to watch than the Pro Bowl. It's just become a joke, dude. Like it's like they don't. It's not even a game. Like they like the quarterbacks would get hit and they wouldn't even let them tackle them. They just blow the whistle as soon as they get wrapped up. And then the guys, when they would tackle, like the tackles made by, like when people would tackle receivers or the running backs, they wouldn't even bring them to the ground. They would just wrap them up and blow the whistle. Like, it's like,
no, I'm with you. It's weird. It's really weird. And it's cringy almost. It's like a cringe. It's a cringe fest.
It's like, come on, man. Like, this isn't football.
I would almost rather have a 7-on-7 flag football game. Like, you give like a 5-second rule. You go 1, 2. Your quarterback has or let's say 3 seconds because it's pros. These are pros. So you get 3 seconds before they can chase you and take down your flag. And then people like Kyler Murray would do insane. People like Russell Wilson, they would be amazing at it. But it'd be very visually appealing. I would watch that. It'd be more fun to watch. When the linemen, that's the problem. The problem is the linemen. It's not the quarterback or the receivers. It's the linemen are like, bro, I'm like 3 weeks into rehab. I just had surgery. I am not gonna like blast into
I'm
you.
not interested in hitting anybody anytime like because we've been
Absolutely.
doing it all year. So I'm not gonna hit anybody. Yeah. No, I know.
100%. No, and I think flag football would be better. I think having it at the middle of the season would be better. I think if they made like, okay, AFC host the Super Bowl, because that's been a problem too. They were talking about, when you might need to change the way we're doing our Super Bowl because they seem to just choose it arbitrarily on how much money they can make. Well, what if they did it like this? Okay, NFC hosts the Super Bowl if you win the Pro Bowl and it's in the middle of the season. Would anyone hate that? Would that be like, and it's flag football or something? Like, I don't know. Maybe that would be terrible. I'm not sure, but anything is better than what they got going on now. That's all I could say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What's up? What's up, Coach?
What up, Coach? What up, Luke, Bill? Shout out to the chat. You guys are the fucking bomb. We got a lot of good questions. We're going to get to probably all of them, I'm pretty sure.
So
we got a lot.
So let's dive right, like the Vegas Raiders start a new era.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Ziegler, Josh McDaniels have been hired as the coach and GM of that team. Can they salvage them? What do you like? I've seen McDaniels forever. So me personally, I don't know. This is his last chance as a head coach. This is his last chance. If he doesn't do well here, he's never going to get another opportunity again. And he didn't do well in Denver. And he said in the press conference, he said in the Raiders press, he said in the Raiders press conference that he didn't do well. He was young. He was stupid. He made a lot of mistakes. He admitted a lot of stuff. But I've seen him for too long, man. I don't know. I don't think he's head coach material. I do think it was time for him to go on the Patriots. I think his voice in the locker room just kind of got old. It was, like he struggled a lot. It was his time to go. But I don't, if you're asking me how he's going to do as a coach again, I kind of go back to the Denver days. I don't have a lot of faith in him as a head coach. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think he'll be okay? Or
the way I see it is, I don't understand. Like personally, I'm not really sure. The Raiders always seem to do stupid things, and to me, not sticking with the hot hand in Rick Bisaccia, by not sticking, I don't want to butcher his last name, by not sticking with that guy, by not sticking with the guy who brought you to the playoffs when everything was collapsing around you, when your rookie wide receiver killed someone and ended up in prison, or is it going to trial? Whatever, allegedly, whatever. We're not going to get into that.
No, he was driving 155 miles an hour like an idiot.
When that happens, and then you got John Gruden's situation on the other hand, the PR nightmare, you still make the playoffs and are within one play from taking down the team who went to the NFC title game. So then what do? I'm going to fire the coach who did that. All right, Mark Davis, good job. You're a freaking moron. Like, what is wrong with you? Are you serious? You fired that guy, and the Packers were like, we'll take him. Oh, my God, please. We'll take him in a heartbeat. So the Packers picked him up. And then you hire Josh McDaniels, which I don't know if he's going to make it, if he's going to improve the team. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see him improving the team. The team is going to go as far as the defense and Derek Carr takes them. So I don't know where Josh McDaniels fits because Derek Carr doesn't need Josh McDaniels. Derek Carr is a field general. Like we saw that during the playoffs. He is a field general. When his team is disoriented, he is barking and screaming. He honestly reminds me a little bit of Peyton Manning. I'm not trying to put obviously he's not that good.
Well, no, I know what you're saying. When you talk about being a general on the field, I know what you're talking
about.
Yeah.
He
the
barks
guys that
and
he's take charge on the field. Yeah.
You go here, you go there, you go here. I mean, Tom Brady, he'll make sure Tom Brady's even better though. He'll make sure that you know that before the play even starts. You better come to the field knowing that. So, but Derek Carr, he's almost as good. He is a top 10 quarterback in this league. And Josh McDaniels is lucky again to have another fantastic quarterback. So it's good. He's going to make, I feel like McDaniels will look good as an offensive coordinator, but they don't need an offensive coordinator. They needed the guy they had before, or they needed a defensive guy or something like that. So I don't love it. Yeah, Luke Neely says it the best. He needs to win over the locker room first. Yeah, I don't. I kind of, it's a shrug to me. I'm like, oh, they hired Josh McDaniels. Okay, maybe that'll be good. Maybe he becomes a good coach down there. Who knows? To me, but they didn't need to do it. And to me, you fired the guy who held everything together. Doesn't make any sense to me. So definitely bothered by that one. What do you said you don't have faith in it?
It was just a weird, like, I just don't have a lot of faith in him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a lot of faith in Josh McDaniels because I've seen him for so long and like here, with the, like, it's you know what his biggest problem is he overthinks himself all the time. Like if something's working, just stay with it. Like he just tries to get too cute and then it ends up coming or, biting him in the ass in the end.
Well, and it's like you said, you talked about Brady kind of making McDaniels look good. Because if Derek Carr sees something wrong on the field, he's going to change it. So McDaniels has another situation where he doesn't have to do much work, really. And if there's success, he's going to take credit for it. And like on defense, I guess he'll take blame if they don't get that figured out. But if they can make the playoffs, which they just already made the playoffs, yeah, I mean, I don't see McDaniels being the reason they win the Super Bowl. That's kind of what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to be the reason. If they win the Super Bowl, it'll be because of their talented players, really. It'll be because Derek Carr and the guys on defense got it done. That's pretty much the way I see it. But I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon. They're too dysfunctional. Maybe, though. Never know.
No, I hear you. For sure. Let's go over to the Chicago Bears now. Back down. Let's go across I-90 from Boston now and head into Chicago. The Bears also have a new regime. So yes. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, first of all, let's talk about Ryan Poles. So the story was originally George McCaskey, he was consulting directly with Bill Polian. A lot of people know that. They're speculating on it. They're talking about it. It's a thing. And Bill Polian essentially is the guy who's making the decisions in Chicago, because George McCaskey is admittedly like, bro, I don't know anything. I'm not, I'm just here to represent my mother. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just the owner. I don't know anything, which I love that attitude from McCaskey. I really do. He hired Polian as a consultant, much like Jerry West was hired as a consultant in LA multiple times and with Golden State. So I like that. And then he said, who do you think I should hire? And he found Ryan Poles. And Polian was actually a little bit salty, apparently, about Ryan Poles immediately hiring his friend Matt Effer. I'm gonna butcher these names, dude. Eberflus. I'll get it eventually. The new coach that he hired from the defensive coordinator from Indiana. And I definitely feel that he wasn't happy with like him doing it right away, but just his press conference, Ryan Poles' press conference, he took it over. He really he reminded me of like Sean McVay, but as a GM. He was so excited. He was so just like high energy, and he basically he said one thing that really stuck with me. He's like, we're gonna take the North and we're not giving it back. I really like that mentality,
that attitude, yeah.
And the other thing that I love that he did is he criticized the crap out of the offensive line, something that Ryan Pace wouldn't do.
He did. He
would not do
like
that.
He went right after him. And didn't he say something like people's jobs are on the line, like something along the lines of people's jobs are on the line?
Well, he specifically, he said people's jobs are on the line. He specifically pointed out, like, this is the main problem with this team. Like, if we can fix this, who knows what we can do after this? So he has faith in Justin Fields, that tells me. So the thing to move forward is, all right, we're going to use Justin Fields. We're going to try to build around Justin Fields and do everything we can to fix the offensive line. Something Ryan Pace, he would like kiss like a few linemen's asses, and like every week they would just suck. Like I don't remember if it was dang it, I'm forgetting his name, but hopefully he's going to get cut. Either way, there's a few offensive linemen that Ryan Pace specifically wouldn't call out, even though the reporters were even saying, "Oh, he really sucked." So I had major problems with that for sure. If you're not going to like at least criticize what you see on the field, Ryan Poles does it within 5 minutes. He gets in the organization. So I like the fiery mentality. People like honesty in Chicago. They want you to be straight up, no BS over here. So I like it. I'm happy about that. And the coach. Just to address the coach, we'll see. We'll see. It's good to have a defensive coach and just kind of not too many cooks in the kitchen for the offense. Just let the offensive coordinator and the quarterback do their thing. That's kind of how we succeed in Chicago. If you look at the few times we've been to the Super Bowl.
Yep. No doubt. So let's stick with football, right? Let's stick with football. And I was going to say, let's talk some Russell Wilson and some Aaron Rodgers and possible movements. But you know what? The homer in me kind of got the best of me. Let's talk about Tom Brady.
All right.
Tom retires after 22 seasons. As 22. As the all-time greatest quarterback ever, and possibly the greatest NFL player ever. Seven Super Bowls, 6 with the Patriots, 1 with the Bucks. His final season, he threw almost 5,400 passing yards. The guy's just going to be he's going to be a legend. I mean, what a career. Just it
doesn't get better than him.
I put a tweet out. After he lost, and it basically said, we just watched Tom Brady's. I have a really bad feeling that we just watched Brady's last game. I didn't think he had enough energy to run it back again. You know what I mean? I don't think he had that in him to go. Could he? Probably. He probably could, but I don't think he. I think there was other factors. I think Giselle wanted him to I think that
Absolutely.
was it. I think Tom and Giselle probably talked at the beginning of this year and said, run it back, see if you can go back to back. And then that's it, and whatever happens. I just had that feeling when they lost. I knew that was, what I mean? Like, I knew that was it. I knew that was it with him, that he wasn't that was, I knew that was it. Like, it just felt that way. Now, so there's a lot of New England, and I mean like a lot of New England fans that are really mad at his retirement statement, that he didn't mention the Patriots in it at all, basically until the next day after. Now, I'm not like angry about that, because there was like, he didn't want, I don't think he truly wanted to leave. Like, I think there was some money. I think there was some money arguments in the end. I think there was some, there was some negotiating that had to be done in the end, and it wasn't. I don't think it was fun for either side. Bill Kraft or Brady, because Brady's wanting some money. That one last big contract before he leaves. And I think if Bill gave him money, I think if Bill gave him the kind of money he wanted, he wouldn't have been able to get the player. Like, I don't think it would have made the team any better if they paid him what he wanted. I don't think they would have been able to put any, it would have been a stalemate. Yeah, you got your money, Tom, but Tom got his money, but the overall team wouldn't have been any better around him. Like, it would have been to me, it would have been a same scenario. They would have run into, heavier talent, and it would have probably been really, really troublesome for them to compete with it. Like, they could have paid him. They probably could have, but then you'd have to take your pick. Do you not? If you pay Tom Brady, you probably don't get Hunter Henry. You probably don't get Hunter Henry, or you probably don't get Hunter Henry or Matt Judon, which were two of the biggest contributing factors on the team. Like, if you pay him that money, you cut out one of those superstars. So get rid of Hunter Henry or get rid of Judon. So you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's a scenario where you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like that was just going to go down like that. And the end just like me and you had talked about previously that like there was bad blood. Like it wasn't fun. Like we had talked about how the end went and it wasn't, neither side wanted to give.
Yep. That's how this podcast started, was Brady Watch, really. That was like 3 years ago or something like that. But yeah, that's how it started. Nobody wanted to give in anything. And I think that Belichick was he wanted to have another 10 years of success. And he knew that Brady wasn't going to last 10 years, at least not at the level he can play. Maybe he'll get 5. So he's not going to give Tom Brady a relatively respectable long-term contract. But I also think he sabotaged himself. Because I look at teams like the Rams and I look at teams like the Saints. They have money spread out all over the place. Mm-hmm. So to me, Belichick, if he could have kept Brady, maybe he would have, and he would have but I think his original plan was to slowly implement Garoppolo after Brady, and he thought that Brady would retire around 40. When Brady kept going, that threw the plan into a tailspin, and I think that's kind of what we saw, is just that kind of, and then they had that one lost year where it was
having to adjust on the fly.
Yeah, and honestly, he adjusted well. I mean, Mac Jones is he's a solid young player. Will he be a star? I don't know about that, but he's at least something to move forward with. So it's just interesting. And Brady was looking at it from the perspective of I still have a lot to give. To me, Brady, the reason why he didn't say anything about the Patriots, going back to that really quick, the reason why he didn't say anything is because he already said goodbye to the Patriots. You know what I mean? Like, he said it 2 years ago.
Yeah, when he left, yeah.
He said, I'll always, appreciate Robert Kraft and the chance to play under Bill Belichick, and that's it. He's addressed it for years. So he decided to say, all right, goodbye, Tampa. This is it for me, though. I'm done. And I respect it. Here's the thing. I think Brady too, he saw the value of going out as the number one, because he wanted to go out with another Super Bowl, obviously. Who doesn't want to go out with the Super Bowl? It's always so great. But he saw the value of, hey, I'm 44. I just led the league in passing yards and touchdowns, and I think yards per game. So I'm just going to retire, because nobody could ever say to me that I couldn't play again. And I'm not still a beast. Hey, shout out to Ross. Long time no see, boys. No questions.
That. Don't know hype. Long time no see, boys. No questions. Just sending good vibes. Have a great night. Thanks for the content, guys. We appreciate you, Ross.
Much love, Ross.
I'm feeling good enough to try and do this tonight, man. So we're gonna take advantage of it.
Yeah, shout out to Bobby real quick, bro. He's been battling some illnesses and all types of stuff, and it's just he's a complete beast, bro. It's the Bostonian toughness out here, so it's definitely awesome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are the fucking best. Karam Mawani, Bill, I see Lissandro, I saw Leedy. Luke, yeah, you guys are total chads.
So
shout out to Ross.
Yeah, so I hear you. He did say goodbye to the Pats, to the Pats fans when he just, to me, it was a little bit petty. It was a little bit.
It could have been,
but I don't really blame him. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. The guy proved that he did still have a lot more to give. He won another Super Bowl, so I don't blame him. What's going to upset me more is that when he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, and if he leaves the Patriots if he leaves the Pats off the Hall of Fame speech, then I'll have a problem with that. But
no way in hell that happens. No way in hell. He's going to talk about Bill Belichick for 3 minutes, I bet. But
you know what I'm saying? That's when I'll have a problem with it.
I'm sure he won't do that. And if he does, then we could talk about that as a serious controversy, because that would be a controversy. I'd be like, wait, so you're telling me that you don't give them any respect? Because that would be foolish. But I don't think that's the case. I think he just looked at it like, all right, I closed that chapter, and now I have this chapter. And he wanted to stay loyal to the Bucs. He didn't want to be talking about the Patriots after he was a Buck for the last 2 years. And he was one of the best Bucks of all time in just 2 years.
I know.
2 years of playing, he went to that team and was one of the best they've ever seen. Gotta love it.
um, let's stay with some football here, right? Let's stay with some football. We'll stay with the NFL. Aaron Rodgers loses in Green Bay. Everybody picking him Super Bowl they were heavy favorites, and he
Right.
falls short again. Falls short again.
Man.
Dude, this is his MO now.
It is. Yeah. No, that's his MO. It is 100%. And I think that Aaron, his main problem in the playoffs, I think it can be pinpointed to almost one thing. I'm sure there's a few things, but it can be pinpointed to one thing. He simply holds on to the ball too much in the playoffs. He has too much anxiety. He does not want to make a mistake. And they've coaches have said that about him during the regular season. I think him and Matt LaFleur have gotten arguments about that. And you know what? It's worked his success most of his career because he has the greatest touchdown to interception ratio in the history of the NFL. But with that being said, he has only one championship to show for it. Sometimes it pays to be risky, to throw down the field, to just let it loose sometimes. And it seems like in the biggest moments, he's not willing to let it loose. He's not willing to just go for it, just take those big shots down the field. And also, it shows that, to me, that game, especially against the Niners, it shows that he was incredibly one-dimensional. You take away Adams, because that's what happened in the first drive. They wanted to spread the field out, the Niners did, and they wanted to play a nice defensive front. And then they said, okay, Adams is killing us. We're going to take him away from the game. Rodgers had no response. His response was, I'm going to hold on to the ball until Adams gets open. And it never happened. And that was the game. And that's how the Niners won. So that, and then they couldn't get the run game going. So it was kind of pathetic. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I'm not trying to trash Aaron Rodgers or anything, but like all this hype, dude, from like the mainstream media, especially. Oh, Aaron Rodgers, he's so good. All this, even Aaron Rodgers himself saying, oh, it's a player of my stature. Like all season talking about, oh, we're definitely, we're going for it this year. And just to go out like that, it's like, bro, that is kind of, oh yeah, Karam's right about that. He says, I know you're happy about it. I was pretty happy when the Packers lost. I was like, brah, this is pretty sweet.
But that's the dude. I had a feeling. That's just that's frauds. Aaron Rodgers. That's Aaron Rodgers' MO now, dude. This is him. He's and it further it fuels the fire too. He might be out of there.
There's a lot of speculation. And there was last year. My question is, who's willing to make it happen? And is it worth it? Those are my two questions for it. Is it worth it for anyone? Is it worth it for Aaron?
Because he's only going to be a 1 or 2 year rental.
Right. So you're going to have to build your team around him in the short term, hoping that he pays off when he clearly chokes in the playoffs all the time.
Yeah.
And I would look at somebody like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who just lost Tom Brady and say that's a good fit because they have they have to rebuild anyway. You might as well just plug and play with Aaron Rodgers. But besides them, if I'm a franchise, if I'm like a GM, I want to get a young guy in here so we can have long-term success, like Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes type of guy. I don't want old rickety Aaron Rodgers who has 3 collarbone surgeries. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't, who chokes in the playoffs. Like, he's looking less attractive than he thinks he is as a player to me.
Well, and I also heard that he hopes to be packaged with Adams, yeah, wherever they go.
To me, that's a weakness. Like, to me, the one-dimensional nature of your relationship with Devontae Adams is a weakness, not a strength. Like, if you were just honed in on one guy every game and everyone knows it, that's just too easy to take you out. So I don't like that at all. You can't get too attached to one player. Tom Brady had like 200 people he threw touchdowns to. Like 200. It's just like insane. So I look at that for sure.
Yeah, no, it's just it's wild. It's wild how like in the biggest moments, one of the best Aaron Rodgers is a really good quarterback, but
Oh yeah,
man, does
talented.
he just folds up, dude. Like it's wild how you know what I mean? How he can just fold up in the biggest moments that they need him to perform in, and he just can't.
And Bill points it out too. Even the Titans, man. So like there was speculation that that Aaron Rodgers could go to Nash or to Tennessee Titans because
so here's a little FYI. He bought property in Franklin, Tennessee.
Yeah, and that's cool, but it's also one of the most attractive spots to like for home owning. It's like a very attractive spot to live because it's becoming like the new Hollywood for a lot of studios and a lot of like he's a country I think he likes country music. So like that's his type of thing. But here's the thing, even the Titans were like, no, we're sticking with Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill, who just choked away like the AFC championship or the divisional round rather. He choked it away. They don't even want Aaron Rodgers. That says volumes to me. That says volumes to me.
Yeah. No doubt, dude. No doubt. So let's talk Russ Wilson. I know he's another possible candidate that could move. Now, I'll tell you one thing. If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'd be doing everything in my power to go after Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah. No question.
They wanted 2 first-round picks. I'd give it to him.
Give him 3.
Yeah. Seriously, because Russ still has probably 5 years of good football left in him. You know?
Oh yeah. I think Russell Wilson, arguably, all things considered, is probably the best quarterback going into next year. All things considered. Now, obviously, we got these young guys like Patty Mahomes and Josh Allen who are just making the game look ridiculously easy. And then we got Joey Burrow over here just slicing and dicing every single defense we see. We got Justin Herbert. We got a lot of young guys. But if you're asking me,
have you noticed a pattern too with the new young quarterbacks?
They're big fuckers.
The pocket quarterback is dead.
Yeah, everyone's bouncing on the outside, rolling out.
The pocket quarterback era is dying. I mean, Mac Jones is a pocket quarterback. Can he move? Yeah, but is he like mobile? Not really. Can he move and slide in a pocket and can he throw on while he's rolling out? Yeah, but he's not a mobile quarterback. You know what I mean? Like the pocket passer generation of quarterbacks is coming to an end. Josh Allen
be able to do both.
Look here, dude. Right? Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Justin Fields. Who's Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
Name all the
Herbert, right?
Justin Herbert, like Herbert. Yeah.
Move.
All these young. The young crop of quarterbacks that's coming up, right? Joey Burrow. Burrow can run. He can move. He can move too. Bit. It's a new the pure pocket passer quarterback era is coming to an end.
There's less checkdowns now. The checkdowns are like middle of the field. Like you better hit that 10-yard pass. That's your checkdown. Like you don't get these behind this line of scrimmage checkdowns anymore. Tom Brady made half his career off of those, and those have served a lot of quarterbacks really well over the years. But nowadays, people are trying to Sean McVay. They're trying to move the ball down the field and score some points. So. That's what the kids are doing in high school and college. They're moving the ball down the field. They're throwing it deep. And it's great because these kids are so darn accurate these days. But really the part of the game that we'll miss from the checkdown era, I think, is the pre-snap knowledge. Reads. And hopefully, these guys eventually develop a lot of that. And I'm sure some of them already have. Like Mahomes has already developed it. Obviously, Russell Wilson, he's a veteran now, so he's developed it. But a lot of these guys still have a lot to learn. And when you're a check down quarterback, or rather when you're a pocket quarterback, you don't have a choice. It's like you better know it, otherwise you're gonna get wrecked. Yeah. So that part of the game, you're right, is slowly moving away.
No, it is, dude. It really is. Like the pure pocket passer era is coming coming to an end.
Absolutely. It seems that way. Steelers are chasing Jimmy G. So yeah, I mean Jimmy G or Russell Wilson might be really good in in Pittsburgh. So I like that, Bill. He said Ryan Tannehill isn't good. He has his moments.
No,
but
Tannehill. Yeah, no,
he's not a star. That's for sure. Yeah, Bengals
all right,
rebuild so fast.
let's kind of switch up. Let's switch it to the NBA. All right,
let's do it.
Let's switch to the NBA for a little bit. I want to talk LaMelo Ball.
Oh,
let's go. Because he is a stud. That kid is going to be really, really good for a really long time. He's good. He is a very talented basketball player. But there's I don't know if they're using him right. I want to get your thoughts on that, but I don't know if they're exactly using him right.
Well, I'm wondering that too. And I look at players around the league. I look at Luka Doncic. I look at John Morant. I look at a lot of these guys who put up these ridiculous numbers at certain times. Donovan Mitchell, and it seems like they get the ball more. It seems like they try to take the ball out of LaMelo's hands. And I'd have to look at his usage rate, but it feels like they just move the ball a lot. Whenever he has the ball, he makes a play. His efficiency is ridiculous. His assists, his passes are insane. Like it really is. Excuse me. It really is amazing. And I feel like he should be jacking up more shots. I feel like I would, if I'm his coach, I want him jacking up like 9 3-pointers a game. But it just doesn't feel like, and maybe it's him. Maybe he's not aggressive. His brother struggled with that early on in his career. Wasn't that aggressive. But I just, sometimes he's, he only gets like 25, 30 minutes. And I feel like he's more of a 35, 40-minute guy. And he needs the ball more. And I just, that's something I've wondered too. And it's just kind of mind-boggling. You have this talented guy. Maybe he just isn't as good on the defensive end, which I haven't experienced that because he's a swatter like his brother too. His hands are very active. So I'm not sure what it is. Maybe they're just kind of slowly easing him in. But at this moment, it feels like he's chomping at the bit. And it's kind of like Luka Doncic when, what's his name? I can't even remember his name. Smith was, what is his name? Damn it. Somebody will know his name, who I'm talking about. He's so irrelevant now. I'm pretty sure he's in the G League. Anyway, when he was sharing the ball with Smith, Dennis Smith Jr., thank you. Dennis Smith Jr., whenever he was sharing the ball with Dennis Smith Jr., it was just cringy. It looked weird. It was like, okay, Dennis Smith's got the ball. Okay, he's got the ball. And with LaMelo, it's like, oh, Devontae Graham's got the ball. The offense looks different. And then when LaMelo has the ball, the offense looks different. Why don't we just stick with LaMelo all the time? Why don't we give him more playing time? I've wondered that too. I noticed. Yeah, I definitely have noticed that. It's strange, but
yeah. No, it's I truly like some of the stuff. Some of the things that they ask him to do are just head scratching. That's all. Like I've just watched a couple of his games, and it's like he should be shooting a lot more than he is.
He's playing off the ball a lot too. And like, I want that guy on the ball.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah,
they should be running the offense through him. They should.
I really think that too. It feels like they're not. And he's still got putting up 19 a game, 7.8, 8 rebounds. He's still just putting up ridiculous numbers. So he's an exciting player to watch. He really is an exciting player. But I'm not a coach. I don't know. Maybe they know better than me. It just, I'd give it to the kid. I'd give him the ball more. He is only 20 though. But yeah, it's definitely a head scratcher. Celtics.
So let's talk some Brooklyn Nets now. Let's talk Brooklyn Nets.
Oh man, lots to talk about.
All right. So there's been stuff flying around about Harden leaving the Nets. Possibly leaving the Nets via trade or by some means. Like there's just rumors going around that he could be leaving by some means, trade or opt out or opt out or whatever the means that he leaves.
What's up, Rick?
Yeah, they're saying that there's a possibility that he could leave. Now, KD and Steve Nash have both said that they want him to stay. They would like him to stay, and they're trying to win. They're trying to win a title, dude. They're trying to win a title. And Harden is an instant drop off. You know, you do lose a talent there. He is a talented ball player. You know, for all the drama that follows him, he is a talented. You know, he is a talented offensive player. So, I think if they lose him, it's going to be awfully interesting because what happens if, you know, if he leaves, that leaves a gaping hole in the offense. Maybe not so much defense, but offensively you lose a guy like that. So I don't know if making the playoffs is in there, you know, or at least maybe getting into the playoffs, but I don't know making it far with, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, it's weird. I actually have a very, Bill, we could definitely get into that for sure. But I have a very interesting take on this situation, I think. And it might be a little bit different from a lot of the media and especially the Nets, what they're saying and everything. So Daryl Morey wants Harden, right?
Yeah.
And Ben Simmons doesn't want to be there. The Nets seem to struggle with backcourt defense, and KD wants the ball all the time. So to me, this trade makes a lot of sense.
it might fit Harden good to get out of there.
It might fit the Nets too. And a lot of people will be like, oh, you don't want Ben Simmons and stuff. But Ben Simmons doesn't even need to score. That's what people are missing. He doesn't even need to score that much. He can literally be the guy that just passes and plays good defense. That can be his role. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, if Kyrie Irving plays or whatever, that is enough offense. And they have a few other guys who can score. That is enough offense to me. You don't need offensive firepower. I kind of said this. I think I said this like 6 months to 8 months ago that the Nets didn't need any more offense. They needed more defense. And they should trade Kyrie Irving for that. Well, now they have an opportunity to trade James Harden, who hasn't been playing well at all. And from the 76ers perspective, the 76ers could use a guy who is incredibly dynamic in the backcourt on offense because they don't really need much on defense. They have everything they need on defense. So I feel like this is a match made in heaven. But the problem, I think, is the Nets probably think, okay, we're doing you a favor. And the Sixers are probably think, well, actually, we're doing you a favor. So that is a problem when you're trying to make a trade. Both teams are like, well, no, you give me a draft pick. And then the other team's like, well, no, you give me a draft pick. And it's just that is what's going to stop this trade, I think, honestly, is the stubbornness of the GMs. Mm-hmm. But what would that do you think, to the landscape? Do you think the Sixers are just automatic favorites then? Do you think the Nets get better?
That might be an even, both teams would win, you know?
Well, yeah, I think they'd get better.
Both teams would benefit from it.
I don't know. So.
I don't know. It really depends on Harden's motivation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, the biggest. If he's motivated to play and plays hard, he could make a difference. If he's the lackadaisical Harden that we've seen in the past.
Well, for the Sixers, it's a complete net positive because you already don't have Ben Simmons on the floor.
Yeah.
So it's literally adding something for nothing because he's not there.
Nothing. Yeah.
For nothing. So you're getting just an offensive scorer. If he even just comes in and averages 17 points a game and is prolific from the 3-point line, that would be giving the Sixers something they desperately need. And on the other end of the floor, I would say Ben Simmons. And I'm not trying to make fun of him, but to me, the Nets are like the crybaby club. Like Kyrie's always crying about something, and Katie's always crying about something. And Ben Simmons can go join them and cry with them. Like they can just be like the overly sensitive basketball club together. And I feel like Harden would benefit from that, or they all would probably. So they are the crybaby club, I think, definitely. They belong together.
Let me just say something real quick. None of this all matters because Golden State's winning the championship anyways.
Damn, don't remind me. That's true.
Klay Thompson is Klay Thompson's back, everybody. Just FYI.
He's back.
So the Splash Brothers they're winning the title. Sorry, Sorry, not sorry.
They're like 20 points in a quarter again.
They are winning the title this year. Sorry, not sorry. I'm sorry. They're winning. They are. Golden State is going to win again this year. Ain't nobody stopping them.
I think the only ones who can are the ones who just won last year. They match up really well with the Warriors. But if the Warriors have more depth than they maybe have ever had. They have a lot of depth, and not a lot of people saw that coming. But like Gary Payton has blossomed. What's his name? Looney has blossomed. Andrew freaking Wiggins, dude, has been playing like a monster. Like
I know,
absolute beast. They got Wiseman coming back soon. They are absolutely stacked, especially on the defensive end. And then you got the Splash Brothers on offense. I mean, it could be a wrap. It really could be a wrap.
No, listen, it's a wrap.
I think it could be. The only one who could stop him is Giannis. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I don't see anybody else. I don't see anybody in the West touching that team. I don't personally. But
no, dude, they are going to run through the West.
I do believe that. I do, because last year they gave everybody a run for their money. When literally, so the first month and a half of, I remember this last year, Steph was playing pretty bad because he was coming back from that injury that kept him out all year. And then, basically the other guys were getting all the time in the world to play well. Then this year they come out completely, and they still made the playoffs, by the way, just with Steph, because Draymond was hurt too for like 3 weeks too. And then this year they come out exploding. Everyone's just on all cylinders. And now they have, what's his name? I'm not good at names today. Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole he has an argument for most improved player of the year, and he's like their fourth option. So it is pretty nuts. It might just be over. You're right. Actually, it might just be over. That bench is really good too.
Can we just talk about the Celtics real quick?
Sure.
Let's hit on my home team here for a second. They've played really well over the last 2 weeks. They've really figured some stuff out.
Yeah,
They're finally moving the ball the way they should have been from the start of the season. They're moving the basket. They're finally playing unselfish basketball. Rob Williams and and usually I'm pretty hard on Marcus Smart because of just the way he is. Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm telling Marcus Smart and Rob Williams have played great these last 2 weeks, and they're a huge part of it. Why Tatum and Brown have played the season figure. They need to keep this up. If they can play like this, they'll be just fine. The problem is consistency has been a problem with them for 5 years now. They need, this is how they've played in the last 2 weeks is the way they need to play. Ball movement, unselfish shots, and be aggressive. When you see a lane, draw if you got to shoot from the free throw line, who cares? Go.
They got size too, so they need to be at the basket. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. They're finally playing the way they should have been playing from the start of the season.
100%. I agree. The only thing that's working against them is a much tougher Eastern Conference. When they went to the Eastern Conference Finals a few years ago, that Eastern Conference was, the bottom of it was trash. Now, the 6th through 8th seed is slim pickings, buddy. Man, it's tough. You got the Hawks, you got the Hornets, you got the Sixers, you got a lot of teams that are fighting for those final spots. And now the Bulls, my Bulls are coming back. I mean, the Eastern Conference is tough now, but the Celtics have some good talent though. They have among the top, I would say the top 3 most talented team in that league. When you consider both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum on the same team, I mean, who can beat that for wings? You know what I mean? I'm not sure who else has better wings in the East. So that's tough. But no answer for Joel Embiid and no answer for Giannis. That's my only problem with the Celtics.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. No doubt. This is the way they should have been playing. That's all I'm going to say. They're finally playing unselfish, moving the basketball around. They pass the ball well. they'll make that extra pass to set a better shot up rather than just taking the, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's a
It's
complete
nice to
change
see.
from how they've played. Like, this is how they should have been playing.
Get back to Boston ball. Unselfish winning basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's I want to go back to football because there is something we forgot to talk about real quick.
Sure.
And it's the ugly underbelly of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, there is an ugly underbelly here. There's some corruption that goes on. There is. Like, let's be honest. There's corruption that goes on. I tell you one thing. I am on team Brian Flores. I'm on team Flores. I believe the guy. Flores has no reason to he's got no reason to lie. Like if he's like, dude, if that's true, if they investigate that and that comes out as true, that the owners were trying to pay him to lose games and tank games, dude, that's a terrible, like Miami, dude, the ownership from Miami, like that whole team should get fined. The ownership, draft picks, like if that's true that they investigate that and that comes out as being true, they need to be held accountable for that because that's a horrible look.
100%. Yeah, I mean, you hit on the head right there. If they investigate that and they find it's true, we're getting a lot of denials. We're getting a lot of, he said, she said, and all this stuff. I really can't wait for the proof to come out. I really can't wait for things to get to the bottom of things because of this perspective. Now, Brian Flores has painted. Before I go off on one thing, I want to address one other thing, and that's that Brian Flores has basically alleged a lot of different things. He alleged that there's been specific racism, and he alleged that winning, basically that winning wasn't a priority, and that's why he lost certain games and stuff. And he also expressed that he couldn't get the quarterback he wanted. That was something else. So I think that there's a mixed bag here to me, just as there usually is in this situation. Obviously, Brian Flores, if it's true, like you just said, that he was paid or offered $100,000 to tank a season for better draft picks,
per game.
Per game,
$100,000 per game to lose them.
So potentially almost $2 million to lose an entire season. That's a huge allegation. And if we find out that that's even remotely true, even suggestively true, even speculatively true, that is a big deal for the integrity of the NFL. From this perspective, gambling is now legal, and that could be a federal offense because you're literally messing with people's money at that point. So that is dangerous, definitely a lot of dangerous territory that the Miami Dolphins are treading in if this turns out to be true. And Hugh Jackson also alleged the same thing about Cleveland. I don't know the validity of that. I haven't looked as much into it, but in that sense, yeah. And also the other thing I want to talk about is it speaks volumes to the culture of the NFL. It feels like the owners are just kind of these kings, like the whole Brian Flores situation, not just that alleged thing. It feels like the owners are these kings, this ownership group. They're not accountable to anyone. They're not accountable to the fans. They're not accountable to anyone. And at the end of the day, you're always accountable to somebody. So when you try to remove accountability for the position of being an owner, I think that definitely comes down to it. Do I think that there was specific prejudice or racism towards Brian Flores in the hiring process? You would have to prove that to me. That's the only thing I would say. I'm not going to go out and say, like, oh, they were definitely racist or whatever. But there's definitely a boys' club. There's definitely a rich people's club that we're not in, that Brian Flores isn't in, that you have to schmooze for and you have to kiss ass for. And those are the people that get the job, the ones who kiss the owner's asshole and like just lick his ring and just kiss his ring and do all the things that the owner wants. Look at Mike McCarthy, not trying to trash Mike McCarthy, but think about that. Like Mike McCarthy situation, he shouldn't have a job anyway. So like with that, I'll just wrap it up by saying that I believe Brian Flores, but I want more. I want more evidence. I want more evidence for this because I'm interested.
Like I said, to me, he's got no reason to lie. You know what I mean? That's my thing. He's got no reason to lie. So I'm leaning leaning on believing, more
Sure.
being on his side, because he's got no reason to. And so not to like get into the whole like racist thing, but like
Sure.
the Rooney Rule is bullshit. If you're a qualified coach, that's fucking bullshit. It doesn't matter the color doesn't matter. Like that doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
If
Should
you're
be a
the
meritocracy.
qualified like, but it's like, and it's like there's like 9 coach hirings and they're all white. So it's like but it's like I don't know though, dude. Like it's a can
It's
of like,
questionable.
yeah, like it's like but like I don't know. It's
The one thing I
such
look at too is really quick. There are only something to consider. There are only 15 to 17% of this country is black,
yeah,
and
yeah,
over half of the players are black.
yeah.
Now, I would argue that the best coaches should get the
The job.
opportunity. I don't care if they're black,
Yeah.
Asian. I don't give a crap. That's why
Yeah.
I almost like the USFL and the XFL, where they kind of like they had like a group that kind of assigned coaches like based on merit, you know what I mean? Versus this arbitrary, oh, I like this guy, therefore I'm going to hire him. Because you're going to have, for instance, if you have a bunch of rich white guys, they might just hire a bunch of white guys who they like or whatever they decide to do. And that's dangerous. So I think the solution here is, well, first, more black ownership and more, you know what, not even just black ownership, just more diverse, rich ownership. I want to see the richest, most because something that makes me mad more than anything, and I will wrap it up quick. I don't want to go on too long.
Yeah.
But something that drives me a little bit nuts with this is like I hear sometimes, oh, he didn't want to go over the salary cap. He didn't want to pay the luxury tax. You are a franchise that has millions of fans, millions. Money should not be an object for you. So I want the richest and the best. That's who I want owning everything. I have no I don't care what race it is,
preference or anything, right? Yeah.
Don't give a crap. But I want the people who are invested. Like, I'm a Bears fan. I'm a billionaire. I want to buy the Bears and make sure the Bears have everything they need. That's the type of ownership I want. So that's something that drives me nuts. Now, as far as like, and that's the thing. I don't like because here's the thing. I don't like when people say, "Oh, he's a black coach." He's just a coach.
He's a
coach, probably from a certain place. Like that, like, can we not define ourselves by our blackness or our whiteness? Like, he's a black coach from Illinois. He's a white coach from Illinois. To me, they're just a coach from Illinois. You know what I mean? That's all it is. You're a coach from Illinois. That's all I see it as. But shout out to Lovie Smith for getting hired.
I did see that. I did see Lovie Smith is the new coach of where is he at?
Texans.
The Texans, yeah.
Wish him all the luck in the world.
I liked Lovie. I
Absolutely.
did. I liked Lovie. I thought I thought he did well with you guys.
I miss him. I miss Lovie was a culture guy. And I love that about him. He was just like, all right, here's the culture. We're winning culture. He was quiet. He was stoic. I love that about him. So I miss Lovie for sure.
Yeah,
but
dude.
I'd welcome him back.
Yeah.
But a lot of interesting topics. We'll definitely have to do this again soon. I know that you've been really sick, my guy, so I don't want to hold you up too long. We'll definitely talk more, my guys, everybody, and I'll upload some shorts onto the I-90 Sports Talk channel. And we'll get into even more topics throughout the week, I'm sure, whether it be just NBA, NFL, whenever we can. Basically, it'll be really awesome. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you, my guy. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. This was good. Like I said, as long as I'm feeling good enough to do this, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
The NBA, the like game streams might be tough just because of the amount of energy. I mean, I would be dead. I could tell you right now, I would be dead by half.
Your health is way more important to me.
I would be exhausted by halftime. I don't think we're going to be able to do the game streams until I get feeling better. But the podcast, an hour like this, I'm going to do as long as I'm feeling good enough, we can do it.
We knocked out a lot today. It was very nice. Very good having you, my guy. And yeah, prayers for your health, my guy. 100%. Everyone, I'm sure, feels the exact same way. Can you answer my last comment?
Like I said,
sorry
we'll
we didn't
know
get to all your
more.
comments.
We'll know more on Wednesday. We'll know more on Wednesday.
Hell yeah. I need your opinion on Adam Gase.
I'm just looking forward to feeling better. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just looking forward to feeling better.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's all I care about at the end of the day. I just want you to be at 100%. My opinion on the Adam Gase at McDaniels spot, Bill, is
no. Capital N-O. No. Adam Gase, that googly eyed. No. Absolutely not.
One thing
I would lose my mind.
He's just known. He was known as a QB whisperer, but I think his time has passed. I think his time. He was good with Jay Cutler. That's all I'm gonna say. That was it. That's all he was good with. Yeah, Rick, I'm sure he'll do a bunch of games when he's feeling up to it. I guarantee it. Bobby's gives his all the time. He's definitely, it's quality versus quantity.
Like
I like
said,
that.
guys, I'm just looking forward to feeling better. And right now I'm still kind of sick. Some of you guys know like what's what's really going on. But yeah, there's some stuff behind the scenes that I got to take care of. There's just some bad stuff going on in my blood work that I gotta handle. That's all.
We love you, man. We want you to put your health first above all things at this point, like all physical things, definitely. We got your back, my guy. Bobby is gold to us. Hell yeah.
So that's what as soon as I'm feeling better, guys, we're going to be back to our normal live streaming games routine. We're going to be back to the normal routine. But until then, this is the energy level that I'm probably going to have about an hour. And that's what we're going to have. Until then, this is what it's going to be. I apologize for not, for the lack of content. I'm sorry, guys, but to be just completely honest with it, I just don't have the energy for it.
Nothing wrong with that, my guy. Go get the energy back.
But we'll be back. I'm gonna, like I said, I'll always keep you guys in the loop. Wednesday is my doctor's appointment, and we'll go from there. We're gonna go
Bobby
from
the
there
Warrior.
and work our way back to 100%.
Cavs family, shout out to you. Good to see you, Bobby the Warrior. Right on.
But thanks again, guys. Me and JD greatly appreciate the support. And
always.
Episode 25 now in the books of I-90 Sports.
So awesome, man.
So
can't wait till next time.
Like I said, as long as I'm feeling good enough to do an hour worth of this, we're gonna do them. We're gonna bang them out, and this is probably until I feel 100% what the channel is gonna consist of. But that's about it. But once again, guys, I appreciate I really do. I appreciate all you guys and the support. I'll do everything I can to keep you guys in the loop. Like I said, I'm gonna do everything I can to get back to 100%, and so we can move this channel forward. But me and JD, thank you guys for all the continued support, and we're out of here. That's it for episode 25, guys. Hit him with it, JD.
Baby. Bear down, baby. Let's go.
Go Pats, go Bruins, go Celtics, and go Sox. And we're out of here, guys. We will see you later. Peace.